There's something we rarely talk about, something that, for some reason, people feel shy or even embarrassed to mention. But let me tell you something. Just because folks stop talking about it doesn't mean it stops being real. Let me ask you this. Have you ever quietly wondered, is it okay to still have those urges? Or maybe whispered in your own mind, does anyone my age still, do it? You're not alone. I was sitting on the porch with my neighbor Bill last summer. He's 72, still sharp as a tack, and one of the funniest people I know. Out of nowhere, after we shared a slice of peach pie, he leaned over and said, "Hey, do you think it's weird that I still enjoy, well, a little private time now and then?" I chuckled, not because it was funny, but because it was brave. I looked at him and said, "Bill, if your heart's happy and your doctor's not yelling at you, then why not?" He smiled, almost like a kid again. That moment stuck with me. Because here's the truth. Getting older doesn't mean shutting down who we are. It doesn't mean saying goodbye to joy, intimacy, curiosity, or connection. Not even with ourselves. In fact, did you know that having a healthy private life, even as we age, can help us sleep better, lower stress, even help with our mood and memory? No one tells us that. They just tell us to slow down, take pills, watch the birds, but they forget. We're still alive, still feeling, still human. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. There is nothing shameful about knowing your body. There is nothing strange about wanting to feel good. And there is nothing wrong with listening to yourself. Whether you're 65, 75, or 95, your story is still unfolding. Your needs are still real. Your joys are still yours to claim. So today, let's open a door that's been shut too long. Let's talk about self-love, aging bodies, and that beautiful, honest connection we have with ourselves. Not with guilt, not with fear, but with curiosity, wonder, and a little smile. Because, dear friend, if we don't talk about it, who will? Let me take you back to a moment. It was early spring, and I was walking through the park with my Aunt Linda. She's 78, always smiling, always wearing her favorite sunflower earrings. As we sat on a bench under a blooming cherry tree, she sighed, looked down at her hands, and said, "It's strange. I still feel like I'm 30 inside, but my body tells another story." And oh, don't we all know that feeling? You see, as we get older, something quiet but powerful starts happening inside of us. And I don't mean just gray hairs and slower steps. No, I'm talking about the deep changes in how our bodies function. It's like our entire system slowly rewrites its rules, and no one really tells us how to keep up. Our hormones, for one, don't act the same anymore. For men, testosterone begins to decline. For women, estrogen shifts dramatically. And those tiny little changes, they can ripple out and affect everything. Our energy, our sleep, even how we feel about ourselves. Sometimes you wake up tired and wonder, did I even do anything yesterday? Sometimes your joints ache when it rains, or your heart races just climbing the stairs. And sometimes you still feel desire, but you're not sure what to do with it. But here's the thing no one says out loud. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human and beautifully aging. Your body might be slower, but it's smarter. Your reflexes might not be as fast, but your heart, your wisdom, your experience, they shine brighter than ever before. And if you're watching this and nodding along, I want you to know this video was made for you. Because we need to talk about these things. Not in whispers, not with shame, but with love, with courage, with truth. So go ahead. Like this video if it made you smile even once. And if you've ever felt like no one talks about this stuff, drop a comment below and tell us your story. And hey, subscribe, because we've got more honest, heartfelt talks just like this one, made for people just like you. Your journey isn't slowing down, it's deepening. So let's keep walking this road together. Let's keep talking. Let's keep growing. Because aging is not the end. It's the beginning of a wiser, gentler, more beautiful kind of strength. And you, my friend, are living proof of that. I want to tell you a story. A few years ago, I visited my Uncle Ray in Florida. He was 74 at the time, retired, widowed, and living in a small house by the lake. The man still made coffee every morning like it was a sacred ritual. Still read the paper, still smiled when the birds landed on his windowsill. But one evening, as we sat on his porch watching the sun slip behind the trees, he leaned over and said something I'll never forget. "Sometimes I feel guilty," he whispered. "Like, maybe I shouldn't still be doing it. You know, that private thing." He looked down, a little embarrassed. I didn't laugh. I didn't flinch. Instead, I smiled and said, "Uncle Ray, loving yourself is not something you ever need to feel guilty about." And that's the truth. Somehow, we've been taught that after a certain age, desire becomes inappropriate, that self-pleasure is shameful, or worse, unnecessary. But let me tell you something loud and clear. Your body may age, but your right to feel joy never does. In fact, here's what nobody tells you. When done in moderation and with care, masturbation in later life can actually bring some beautiful, surprising benefits to your health. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Yes, even at 65, or 75, or 85. Let's break it down gently. 1. It helps you sleep better. Have trouble falling asleep at night? You're not alone. One of the lesser-known benefits of self-pleasure is that it helps your body release calming hormones, like oxytocin and endorphins. These little miracles help reduce anxiety and relax your body into sleep. You know that peaceful feeling you used to get after a long hug or a warm bath. That's the feeling your body can still create, naturally. 2. It improves your circulation. Aging sometimes brings stiffness, your back, your legs, your joints. Gentle sexual stimulation encourages blood flow throughout your body. That means more oxygen to your heart, brain, and muscles. It's like giving your body a mini tune-up. You don't need to run a marathon to stay healthy. Sometimes, a little private time does the trick. 3. It supports your mood. Feeling a little blue? Down? Like the world is moving too fast and leaving you behind? Masturbation triggers dopamine and serotonin, two powerful mood boosters. They're like sunshine from the inside out. It's not just about pleasure. It's about feeling alive, still connected to your body, still able to spark a moment of joy in a quiet room. 4. It strengthens your pelvic muscles. Yes, really. Just like walking helps your legs or gardening works your arms, healthy sexual activity, even solo, keeps your pelvic muscles engaged. That can help with bladder control and overall stability. And here's the surprise. For both men and women, it can reduce the risk of certain discomforts related to aging. 5. It keeps you in touch with yourself. This one might be the most beautiful of all. In a world that often forgets older people have desires, choosing to connect with your own body can feel like reclaiming your voice. Your right to feel. Your right to love. Yourself. It's not about fantasy. It's about respect. A quiet moment where you say to your body, "I see you. I thank you. I still belong here." Now listen. I know it can be hard to talk about. It might even feel strange to hear someone say these things out loud, but you deserve to hear the truth. And the truth is, there is no age limit on love. There is no expiration date on joy. And there is absolutely no shame in knowing how to care for your body in a way that brings peace, comfort, and healing. In fact, I believe it's something to admire, to be brave enough to still listen to your own needs, to be kind enough to meet them. That's not something to hide. That's something to be proud of. So if this message touched something in you, if it made you feel understood or simply less alone, I invite you to do something simple. We're here to remind you that you are never too old to laugh, to feel, to grow, or to love yourself. Because aging isn't the end of intimacy. It's the start of a deeper kind. So next time the world tells you that you're too old for something, smile kindly and keep doing what makes you feel whole. You've earned that right. Every day, every year, with every quiet, beautiful moment you choose for yourself. It was a rainy Tuesday when I visited Mr. Harold. He's 81, a retired school principal, and one of the wisest men I know. Always wore a pressed shirt, still polished his shoes every Sunday, still knew every grandkid's birthday by heart. But that day, something was different. He looked tired, not just sleepy, but worn out, like his energy had been leaking slowly over time. As we sat down with our coffee, he looked at me and said softly, "I don't know why, but I just feel off lately. My body's tired. My joints ache more. I can't focus the way I used to." I listened, and then I asked a question as gently as I could. We talked, we shared, and eventually he whispered, "I guess I've been leaning a little too much on, those quiet moments by myself, maybe too often." And that's when it hit me. No one ever really tells us that even something as natural and helpful as self-pleasure, when done too often or used as an escape, can start to take more than it gives. Let me be clear. There is absolutely no shame in caring for yourself, in choosing peace, in honoring your body. But just like with sugar, wine, or even watching TV, too much can tip the balance. Let's talk about what can happen. Not to scare you, but to empower you. Because when you know better, you can live better. 1. It can leave you feeling drained instead of restored. At first, those quiet moments feel like relief, release, comfort. But when it becomes a daily routine, sometimes multiple times a day, your body can start to feel worn down. You might notice fatigue, slower recovery, or just a sense of foggy thinking. It's like watering a plant too much. It doesn't grow faster. It can drown. 2. It may trigger aches and soreness. This one surprised Harold. He thought his back and hips just got old. But in truth, repetitive movement, especially if done quickly or without care, can cause strain in muscles, joints, and even nerves. Moderation gives life. Repetition, without rest, steals it. 3. It can cloud your emotions. Sometimes we use self-pleasure not just for joy, but to numb stress, sadness, or even loneliness. And while that may bring temporary relief, over time, it can blur our ability to feel deeply, to connect, to process. It becomes a comfort blanket that's worn too thin. 4. It might affect your heart, literally. For folks with blood pressure or heart conditions, intense physical effort, even in private, can place unexpected stress on the body. If done too frequently or too intensely, it can leave you lightheaded, dizzy, or worse. Harold said, "I thought I was just tired. Turns out, I wasn't giving myself enough time to breathe." 5. It can isolate you more than connect you. This is the tender truth. When private time becomes the only time you feel good, it can slowly replace phone calls, walks, laughter, and meals with friends. It becomes a habit of hiding. But you weren't made to hide. You were made to share your smile, your stories, your wisdom. Now listen, this isn't about guilt. This is about love. This is about balance. This is about choosing yourself, not just for a moment, but for the long run. You've worked too hard and lived through too much to let loneliness steal your sparkle. And let me say this, even recognizing the need for change is something to admire. It takes courage to say, maybe I need to slow down. It takes strength to say, maybe I need something deeper. And it takes wisdom, the kind only you carry, to ask, what else might my heart need? So if this story touched you, if you've ever found yourself wondering, am I overdoing it? Or if you simply needed a gentle reminder that your well-being matters, because life doesn't end at 65. It simply asks different questions. And sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is listen. So tonight, when the world goes quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, ask yourself, is this moment giving me life, or is it asking me to pause? If it's time to pause, that's okay. Rest is beautiful. Balance is powerful. And you, my friend, are worthy of both. The gentle art of listening to your body. A few months ago, I sat with Miss Clara. She's 83 and still waters her roses every morning, rain or shine. She wears perfume to church, bakes the softest cornbread you've ever tasted, and speaks with the kind of wisdom that makes you stop and really listen. That day, as we sipped tea on her porch, she said something that stayed with me. I believe, she said, the secret to growing older gracefully is learning how to listen, not just to people, but to your own body. She smiled and tapped her chest gently. It whispers, you know, and sometimes it pleads. That's the heart of everything we're talking about today. Because when it comes to loving yourself, especially in those quiet, private ways, the most important thing is to listen. So let's talk about how to do it gently, lovingly, wisely. Because caring for yourself is a gift, one that's best opened slowly. 1. Go at your own pace. There's no schedule, no rule book. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. This isn't a race, it's a rhythm. Maybe once a week is enough, maybe twice a month. The key is asking, am I doing this because I feel joy or because I feel empty? 2. Breathe and relax. Tension can sneak in when we least expect it. So take a deep breath. Stretch. Sit somewhere peaceful. Let your body feel safe and calm. Remember, it's not about intensity. It's about intimacy with yourself. 3. Watch your heart, literally. If you have heart issues, high blood pressure, or get dizzy easily, take it slow. Gentle is good. If you ever feel lightheaded or uncomfortable, pause. There's no shame in saying, today's not the day. 4. Care for your joints and muscles. Just like any activity, if your body is stiff or sore, be kind to it. Find a position that doesn't strain your back, hips, or neck. Use a cushion. Adjust the light. You deserve comfort. 5. Clear the guilt. This might be the hardest and most important thing. You are not doing anything wrong. Loving yourself, connecting to your body, honoring your needs. These are sacred acts. There's no sin in self-care. Miss Clara said it best. You don't have to ask permission to feel alive. And here's one more thing. Don't do it in secret from your own heart. This is about trust, about being gentle and true with yourself. So if something doesn't feel right, physically or emotionally, pause. Reflect. Talk to someone you trust, even your doctor if you need to. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is ask. So if this message warmed your heart, if it made you smile, or feel seen, or reminded you to treat yourself with a little more tenderness. Like this video, just so we know we reached you. Leave a comment, share your thoughts, your questions, or just say hello, and please subscribe to our channel. These moments we share, they matter, and we're just getting started. Remember, you are still growing, still blooming, and still worthy of love in every form, even the quiet ones. Especially the quiet ones. You're still here, and that's beautiful. There's a story I love. An old sailor, long retired, once said this about his time at sea. The storms weren't what made me tired. It was the silence after. That's when you feel everything. And isn't that true for life? As we grow older, it's not the noise that exhausts us. It's the quiet, the moments alone, the questions no one asks out loud, the feelings we tuck under the rug, the memories we try to hold with trembling hands. But today, in this moment, I want to say something out loud that maybe no one said to you in a long time. You are still here, and that means something. Your heart still beats, your skin still feels, your soul still hums when you hear an old song or feel sunlight on your face. And yes, your body still longs to be touched, honored, and loved. Even by your own hand, especially by your own hand. Let's not make that something to be ashamed of. Let's call it what it truly is, a quiet, brave kind of self-respect. In a world that rushes past older people as if they've had their turn and should step aside, you've stayed steady. You've kept living, kept laughing, kept wondering, kept feeling. That deserves more than silence. That deserves celebration. So, if no one's told you lately, let me be the one. You matter. Your needs matter. Your voice still belongs in the conversation. And when you choose to care for yourself, whether it's with a warm cup of tea, a walk in the sunshine, or yes, a quiet moment of intimacy, you're not doing something silly. You're doing something sacred. So here's what I hope you carry with you after this video ends. Not shame, not guilt, not doubt, but permission. Permission to take up space, to feel pleasure, to be curious, to laugh, to cry, to still explore your body, your mind, your spirit. Because growing older doesn't mean you stop growing. It just means you grow differently. If this video spoke to your heart, if it made you feel even a little more alive, a little more understood, please, you're not too old. You're not forgotten. You're not invisible. You are a garden still blooming, a lighthouse still shining, a story still unfolding. And we are so lucky that you're still here.